They
and
are.
you know,
They
yeah.
are. I mean, it's really been revolutionized. I would say in the last 10 years, things have completely changed. 3D simulation, you can actually envision the entire display with the music, timed down to the 100th of a second, and you get it set up exactly the way you want it. And then basically you take the script out of that and you plug it into one of these digital firing systems and it'll shoot everything exactly when you want.
Show up, and then what poor soul has to go light that thing on fire?
He'll have a, well, we definitely use the digital system for that.
Hi, this is Mish Hancock, and you are listening to MichMash, a place where I get to talk to the weird, wacky, wonderful people of this world, people I adore and want to know more about. Today, my guest is Rob Cima of Skywars, a competition between the nation's top pyrotechnicians presenting concerts in the sky via firework choreography. Oh my gosh, how interesting is that? Hi, Rob.
Hi, happy to be here.
I mean, this is so cool. I love this. And as I said when I first met you, I see the results of what you do, but I have no idea how you guys make that happen. So
Yeah.
I want to, first of all, how in the world did you get into this?
Well, I like to joke that when I was about 5 years old, my dad handed me a firecracker and a lit Salem light cigarette and said, "Go out there and light that firecracker." And
I'm hooked.
that's when it started. Yeah, you know, I was the so when every family has one, I think, and you get the one family member that is the fireworks person. And so I had a cousin, and he and I would drive all over town buying fireworks, and then on the 4th we'd have a barbecue, and then we would put on the show. And I think it was probably 2007 or 2008. He and I had gone and done our usual fireworks run, and this is one of those years when it was, I don't know, 100 degrees with 100% humidity.
That sounds
And
like St. Louis.
we were dying, and we thought there's got to be a better way to do this. And so I think I Googled something like, how can you fuse a bunch of fireworks together so we wouldn't have to, do so much running. And turns out you can do that. And the site that I went to, which is no longer alive, was called Pyro Universe. And it was a bunch of professionals and hobbyists, and they got together every year and they did there was a thing called the St. Louis Shoot at the time. And basically it was all the people who on the 4th of July are putting on those great shows that everyone sees in towns across the country. And they get together in the fall after the season's over, and they're like, we're gonna shoot for us and share tips and tricks, and just get together. And so I asked my wife, I said, "Hey, there's this thing in September. It turns out it's only 20 minutes from our house. Could I go?" And she's like, "Yeah, knock yourself out, man." So I went, and I walked out onto this field where a bunch of guys were setting up for these shows, which like nothing I'd ever done. And I thought, it's my people. Oh my God, I found them.
I have found my tribe.
Exactly.
Oh
So, fast forward 12 years, and I'm vice president of Missouri Pyrotechnics Association, and have my ATF license and my Missouri display operator license. And I'm not I'm not in the fireworks business, but I shoot a bunch of shows around the 4th and at other times of the year. And then Skywars is sort of our big project.
Well, and it's just fascinating. I mean, for one thing, I feel like fireworks, it's become bigger than ever. Like, it's not just a 4th of July thing anymore. I mean, it's there. I feel like fireworks are going off all the time now.
That may just be because of COVID. I know that
you think that's it. It's a
yeah,
COVID thing.
A lot of people, the fireworks sales this year were up, 300% or something. All the shows got canceled. So everybody went out and bought fireworks and shot them at home.
Yeah. They're like, we're bored. Let's go.
I think that's
fireworks.
It. Yeah.
That's interesting. I bet you're right. Right.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it.
So then, but it is amazing to me. I mean, I do feel like around the 4th of July, well, actually starting in May, all the tents go up.
Right.
Where you can buy these fireworks everywhere.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's not the fireworks you buy.
Well, in some cases it is. Many of the shows, like at Skywars, and I know we'll get into it, but we have that competition division, and it's almost like stock car racing. They give everybody the same exact car, and there's all kinds of limits about what you can do, and then they race them. Well, part of what we do, one piece of our show is we give 3 competitors. We say you're only allowed to use consumer fireworks. So a lot of the stuff you'll see is the stuff that is available in tints.
Okay.
And all that's left, and we limit the number of electrical matches they can use. We limit how long it can be, how much fireworks they can use, how many cases of fireworks they can use. And what's left is, how good are you at choreographing a show, and how good are you at executing your vision? And we crown a champion every year. So some of what you'll see is stuff that you would see in a tent or be able to buy.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So how in the world does this work? I mean, like, I'm guessing, are computers involved these days?
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
What is,
I mean, it's really been revolutionized. I would say in the last 10 years, things have completely changed.
Okay.
So a couple of things have happened. One is that these electronic firing systems have become affordable. So it used to be, it's $10,000 to even get started. Well, now, for a few $100s, you can actually get, a basic system that will let you shoot, a digitally fired system, which is what you need to be able to shoot a pyro musical. And the second thing that's happened is that they've got this simulation software now. So it's 3D simulation. You can actually envision the entire display with the music, timed down to the 100th of a second, and you get it set up exactly the way you want it. And then basically you take the script out of that and you plug it into one of these digital firing systems, and it'll shoot everything exactly when you want.
Sophistication.
Yeah, crazy.
That's amazing.
So that's really been good. I mean, I think that it used to be that you had to have, I think, you had to be somebody who could really envision things in your mind.
Right.
And now you're able to sort of tinker and play around with things, and that's making a big deal.
And then is it like, I'm envisioning you figuring this out. You're at the computer, you're putting this all together. I mean, do you guys have like, oh, it's the blah 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 firework, and I need to do a blah 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 firework here?
Yep.
I'm sure they're not called blah blah blah, but I mean, and then do you guys ever get the chance to inform the firework makers, like, can you guys make one that does this?
You can. I mean, you have to order enough of it that it's worth it for them to make it. But if you've got something in particular that you want, some colors, some timing, you can definitely do that.
Wow.
And there are a number of different types of effects of fireworks. So you've got there are aerial fireworks, so the things you see in the sky for the 4th of July. Peonies and chrysanthemums and willows are the ones that really rain down. Those are always kind of a favorite with people, in various different colors. So when you buy them, you'll if you're choreographing a show, you might be thinking, all right, I want to do some, I'm looking for green here, I think. And so then you can, all right, and then what type do I want? Do I want a peony? Do I want something down low? So there are ground type effects. There are things called comets, mines, which is so a comet might be like a single streak going into the air. A mine might be like a small, so almost like a little fan on the ground. And so you combine the different types of effects, comets and mines and shells, and then you combine different colors, and then you can use different angles and timing and all that. And that's how you put together a show.
Wow. What are some other things we just do not know that would be that people, like, when you're at a party and you're talking about what you do, that people go, really?
Yeah, I would say part of it is it's a logistical exercise in some cases. So you might know exactly what you want, but now you have to go find someone who's got it in stock and who can sell it to you. So that can be a challenge. And then, there's always the budgetary concerns. Obviously, it's easy to envision a show that is outside the budget of whoever is paying you to put it on, for sure. So you're always balancing, what you envision you're going to be able to do with what you've actually got the budget to do. So that definitely makes a difference. And I think what a lot of people don't appreciate about it is just, especially for a pyro musical, just how much time goes into developing, and how much time, once you've even got your script together, I might spend 40 or 50 hours just coming up with the script. And then I might spend, another, we might spend hundreds of hours just getting it ready. And that's even before we even take it out to the field. So,
Wow.
one of the things I've heard is like for every minute of show, it might be 10 to 15 man hours of prep to put that show on for you.
So, and you're talking about timing along with the music,
Right.
I mean, and then with
everything.
the music, I mean, don't you have to get a license to use that song? I mean, there's a lot more involved, right?
There's all kinds of stuff to it. Yeah. And then of course, if you're going to, so once you actually go to do a show, you have to have a display operator license to be able to shoot a professional show if you're using professional fireworks. And there's insurance, and there's all kinds of, you have to have a license from the ATF to be able to even possess fireworks. One of the funniest stories is, when I first got into this and decided I was going to go for my license, you get your ATF license. So it's a background check and some other things. And they actually come to your house in my case, and you can meet them somewhere. But if I was a fireworks company, I would have met them at my fireworks office, I guess.
Right.
But, I'm an IT guy. So, with a kind of a hobby gone bad. And so the ATF showed up, and my wife, who works from home, comes upstairs, and I'm sitting on the back deck having coffee with a guy with an ATF jacket on, which my wife thought was pretty funny. So she was like, "Hey,
So
what's
who'd you
going on?"
invite over for
I was
coffee, hon?
I was like, "This is Kevin." So
Oh
pretty
my
funny.
gosh. And so then this has, I mean, the big thing now is you do this thing called Skywars.
Yes.
Which I love
Yeah.
the name. And you invite pyrotechnicians from, do they come from around the world, or is it mainly United States?
Mainly United States. We've had some people there in the past that are from other places. So it's put on by the Missouri Pyrotechnics Association, which I'm a member of. And we invite, so there are several segments of the show. It's about 2 hours long. First part is what we call the competition. So we always, a national anthem, we always do a 21 gun salute for our first responders. And then we'll do the competition. So that's 3 shows. And it's the one I was describing earlier, where we put all kinds of limits on them, so they can't, you're not allowed to buy the show. You have to actually show us what you can do. And they're judged in a variety of different categories around, the choreography, the music, the we say density of, were they able to sort of keep up the same level of excitement throughout the show? There's 5 or 6 categories that they're graded in. And then we'll have some unlimited class shows. So those are, they're mostly those consumer type fireworks that that most people, some of the things they might have in the show are not something you could buy in a tent, but mostly it is, except there's no limit. So we'll just say, go crazy, do as much as you like. And usually they like to do a lot. So we have 2 of those this year, 2 different competitors. One of them is particularly interesting. There's this Bo Domestic's his name, and he has actually put on he's written original music.
Wow.
He has performed and produced the music himself, and then he has designed a fireworks show to go with the music. So it's called This Heart of Fire.
There's a lot of hours that have gone.
Very cool. Yeah. And he actually has a YouTube series that he's putting up. It's like it's called The Path to Skywars. And first episode is him trying to finish the solo and the song, and then he's going on from there. So it's really,
oh my
really
gosh,
cool. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then we have 3 professional displays. So those are going to be the types of displays that you would see at a city type show. So these are the fireworks that you can't buy without a license, you can't shoot without a license, and they have to be, you can't even possess them without having a fireworks magazine, all the requirements that we have to do. So we'll do 3 of those, and then one of the things we're known for is our gasoline fireballs. So the fireball dudes, who are from Memphis, Tennessee, led by a gentleman named Bill Corbett, they come up and they do gasoline, and though, I mean, it's a gas fireball. So you'll see, a 200 or 300 foot high gasoline, looks like a mushroom cloud almost. And
Oh my
you feel the heat
gosh.
coming off of it. And the fireballs are definitely a crowd favorite.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How much gas do they use?
Well, I think the most he's ever used at Skywars is about 650 gallons. But he does, but he does hold the record, the world record for gasoline fireball. He did last year, or might have been the year before. He did 1,200 gallons of gasoline in basically 1 second. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
something to
gosh.
see, and it's amazing. You're like, that's hot. Like I can feel
That-
that from here, and it's hundreds of yards away. Like it's
I
amazing.
can't even imagine. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, that's kind of insane.
yeah, it is.
It's like,
It's crazy, but it's the crowd favorite. I think the thing we're known for most, I mean, besides the pyro musicals, and most people have never really seen a fireworks show, what I would call pyro musical. They may have seen, I've got the radio on in the background and there's some fireworks going on. That's like fireworks shot shot with music as
right.
opposed to shot to music. So
Exactly.
you've never seen anything like it if you haven't been to an event like this. But the fireballs are what people just, they love
Well,
them.
one, it's the audacity of doing such a thing.
Right.
You have to kind of see it. But I'm trying to like where. Okay, I just got to ask about the fireball because I'm quite intrigued with this whole idea. Like, where is the gas? Like, is it where? Like, how does it show up? And then what poor soul has to go light that thing on fire?
He'll have well, we definitely use the digital system for that. So
Right,
we
it's not like
we
a
stand,
coin toss
yeah, no,
kind
we
of thing,
stand,
right?
you're well away from it. Nobody's anywhere near it when it goes off. It's a bunch of stainless steel tubes or steel tubes. And I know that fireball dudes have them, they could be 12 inches in diameter and, 6 feet tall. And they could be smaller. So he'll just fill a bunch of those tubes up. And it's pretty funny because we place a gas order and the gas truck, like the kind of truck that you would see that is filling up the tanks at the filling station. This
Yeah.
truck pulls into the field and you explain to the guy who's, running the truck that you want him to fill up these tubes.
We'll have 650 gallons, please.
Right, which is basically the whole truck. So they have a size that is behind like an 18-wheeler, and then there's one size down from that. It's basically everything they can fit in one of those trucks. We take it and light it up.
Oh, that's just insane. Where does this take place?
We're going to be out near the village of Innsbruck this year. So not in the resort, but what we're calling the Village of Innsbruck Fireworks Field in Wright City,
Gotcha.
September 26th.
And where do people get tickets?
Skywarsevent.com is the website.
All right. Oh my gosh. And you do this every year?
We do it every year. This is our 15th year that we've been doing it. So it's been named different things over the years. It was called the St. Louis Shoot for the first few years. But the problem with the St. Louis Shoot is if you Google St. Louis Shoot, you get some interesting results that are not quite what we want.
Skywars is good.
Yeah, then it was called, for 6 years, it was called Pyromania, and then Skywars is our first year calling it Skywars. So,
I love it.
Yeah,
it's
we're
a great
excited about
name,
it.
And it just feels
It describes what it is. It's a competition, and it's amazing.
Very cool. All right, so I have some questions for you.
Yeah.
First of all, do you have a lot of scars, like burns?
No, I don't have any.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
I don't have any,
It seems like you should be congratulated for that.
Actually, that may not be true because there was the kid across the street when I was growing up. He and I got in an argument lighting fireworks one time, and I think he burned me in the back with a punk. So I may have a scar. I'm not sure if that counts.
Do you remember this kid's name?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Let's call him out now. No,
yeah, exactly. And it's so I like to shoot. I think a lot of guys like this. Now that the digital systems have come on, it used to be that you would be in, and I know they still do this in some places, you shoot manually. So you've got protective gear on.
I remember that. I remember the guys running out and then running back, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Insane.
You'd have a hard hat on, you have safety glasses and ear protection, and you're wearing protective clothing. And even for professional display, you're out there shooting these, you're hand lighting these fireworks with a torch. And I've only done that twice. And the second time I did it, you've got a row, and these were 4 and 5 inch shells. So, they look like a softball, and they're sitting in a tube that is, 3 feet tall, comes up to your waist, maybe even a little taller than that. And you take a shroud off the fuse and you light it, and you basically have time to turn around and the thing goes off behind you. And then you turn back around and then you light the next one. And so, every time one would go up, and I was working with another guy, and I lit one and I turned around and then I turned back around. And when that one went up, it actually had caught the fuse of the one next to it.
Oh,
And so the next one, luckily the guy with me saw that it was lit, and he yelled, "It's lit." And there was just enough time for me to kind of back off, and right in front of my face, this 4-inch shell went up and scared me to death. And after that, I was like,
kidding.
you know what, I'm gonna use my digital system, and I'm gonna sit about 600 feet away and comfortably watch the show. The other thing about lighting manually is you can't see the show. It's all straight above you and you can't see it. So I think it's more enjoyable to be able to see what you created by shooting it electronically.
Is there a place or like a definite destination that all the fireworks guys have to go check out that may not necessarily be a show, but just be like, we got to go? Like, I mean, is Disney World a thing? Like, I have to go to Disney World and I got to go to Epcot and see their thing.
There's a couple of those. And I mean, Skywars is one. I would think it's becoming in the US, and it's one of these amazing shows. There's another one. There's the PGI, which is the Pyrotechnic Guild International. That's it's a group of hobbyists, professionals. They come together once a year. And it's a week-long convention, and they'll do 4 out of 7 nights. There'll be big pyro musical type shows.
Okay.
So it's great, and that moves around. It's mostly in the sort of upper Midwest, maybe to the west. This year it was going to be in Fargo. It wound up getting canceled with COVID, but next year it's scheduled to be in Fargo. And then there are some big pyro musical competitions. So the most famous is probably Montreal, and it has some French name, L'École something. I don't know what it is, but it's Les Feux des, something. And I actually went last year, and it's amazing, and it works a little bit different. So it's over there. They'll have 6 shows, but they're on different weekends, and it's actually at the Six Flags. So it's at an amusement park, and you can, with your amusement park, you can add on the fireworks show, and you stay that night. And it's and it's country. So we saw Canada, and we saw the US, I think, and Australia, China, Philippines. All these teams come in. Spain, they come in from everywhere. So that's a big one, and it's sort of a must see. And it's probably the most famous and well regarded pyro musical competition in the world. And then another one, Pyronale, which is in Berlin every year, also canceled this year. It was on my list. It would have been going on about now. We probably would have been leaving maybe next week for it. That's a big one. But there are others. There are competitions in Manila and Singapore and the UK. They're all over. Malta is another place that is really known for fireworks, and they've got a lot of these fireworks manufacturing families. So the way the business works is there are these fireworks dynasties, I'll call them. They've been doing fireworks for years, and it's handed down from granddad to grandson.
Oh, cool.
And Malta has like all these really amazing, and they'll make these shells that are 6 feet tall, and it's 12 18 inches around, and shoot them. They're crazy, these huge canister shells that they'll shoot.
Are there any in Mexico? Because the few times I've been to Mexico and seen a fireworks show there, it was very dangerous. I don't think they had a lot of rules in place. They were like shooting them at the crowds. I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't good. And then I was trying to figure out why. I was watching some guys, they were tying all these ropes in the palm trees. I'm thinking, I wonder why they're tying all the ropes in the palm trees. Well, because the palm trees were all catching on fire, and it was somebody's job to pull on the rope to shake the fire out. I was like, that's a bad job. That guy must have done
bad
something.
Design.
Like, this is this is like his community service because he pulled something, you know. But I
Right.
always,
Yeah.
I mean, no kidding. I'm not kidding you. I was like, you guys must not have a lot of rules around your fireworks displays here because they're very scary.
Yeah, I think they do shoot a lot of fireworks down there. I think you're right, though. There aren't
Not a
not
lot
a lot
really.
of rules.
Just
Yeah,
get the crowd
there really
all
aren't.
riled up.
There's all
Throwing at
kinds
'em.
of, you'll see video all the time of crazy things that happen around the world where,
Oh.
people are holding them in their hands and, and they're running through them, and there's all kinds of crazy things that happen.
We should not do.
No,
Those are
don't
the
do, yeah,
don't do these things.
don't do that.
Don't
It's
try
not,
this at
it's
home.
definitely don't try this at home.
So, all right. Are there people in your like did mom ever say, "Honey, I don't want you to do this"? I mean, did you ever have like was
No.
anybody so you must be because my sense is you're very level-headed and that people believe that when you go into something you're not going to do anything crazy. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
ever-
there definitely, so there's some people when I was younger, maybe I did some things that were probably not the best idea.
Well,
And my mom the funny thing is my mom worked for the FBI. So, and I do have a funny story about her. She's
all
not
right,
with
let's
us.
hear
She's
it.
not with us anymore. But so my friends and I used to take firecrackers and make cherry bombs out of them. But you'd crack them open and you would, take the powder out. Don't do this at home, kids.
This is an
This
instruction.
this is a bad idea.
Okay.
And we would have you would melt some wax, and you'd use wax to kind of pack the powder in once you got it all out. And she came home from work at the FBI, and I had three of my buddies are sitting around the kitchen table, and I have a Tupperware that's like filled to overflowing with explosive, flash powder.
Oh my gosh.
Which I know now, if that went off, it would have blown the whole kitchen off the house. Like I didn't have an appreciation then for just how big a problem it would have been if that had gone off.
Right.
And she walks in and she sees us sitting there with this pile of, powder on the kitchen table, silver stuff like everywhere, all over the kitchen, And then on the stove is a pot of wax bubbling, that we're going to use to pack the stuff up. And she goes, "Hey boys, what are you doing?" And we said, "Oh, we're making cherry bombs." And she says, she looks at the stove and she says, "You better not ruin my pot." And then she walks out. That was it. That's all she ever said. So this is probably 1978 or something. It was a different time back then.
Yeah, well, true. We had jarts,
Yeah, that's right. We did have jarts. Yeah, jarts will kill you.
We had very, very dangerous toys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Oh gosh.
So
Well, you
again,
didn't
don't
ruin the
do
pot.
that.
Yeah, but let's
Recommended
not
or illegal, but yeah,
do
that's
not
been
do
78.
this. This is just a story. It's
That's right.
fun. Do not do this
That's
at
right.
home. Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. This is really amazing. So, is there any, I mean, I am sure there are people out there that would love to get into this. What is their
Yeah.
first step to getting into this?
I mean, I think the best way to get, if you're someone who loves fireworks, like I was, and you want to get more serious and just learn more about it, a great thing to do is join the Missouri Pyrotechnics Association. If you're in this part of the country, if you're somewhere else, there's one all over.
Got it.
The guy I was telling you about, Bo Domestic, who's designed that amazing display with his own music. He's in the Ohio Pyrotechnics Guild, OPAG, I think they call it. But there is, you join the association. We have multiple events throughout the year. Most of them are just private, unlike Skywars, where we're putting it on for the public. And really, Skywars is a whole weekend of training and other things that we do for the actual members and the pyrotechnic community that comes out to it. And when you come to those shows, you can learn from people that have been doing it for years. We have some people that make their own fireworks. We have people that can show you how to design and put on a show. And then we even have, shows, every time we get together, somebody's putting on the show. And so after you get a little bit of experience, you can raise your hand and you can take the lead on it. You can choreograph it. People show you how to do it. And then the next thing you know, you've designed your first pyro musical and away you go.
Cool. So this year, what are we doing? We're going to have this, but what are we doing with the COVID? I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of space, I'm going to
There's
guess.
plenty of
with the-
space, and of course we're outside. So if this was an
Right.
indoor event, there's no way we could possibly have it. But
Right.
but since we're outside, lots of fresh air is one of our best defenses against the virus, I think.
Exactly.
We've got plans about the food. Where in the past we might have had a buffet. It's just things are going to be just a lot different in terms of who handles it. And the way we're thinking about it is when people come out, they'll probably cluster with their group, just like you would
Right.
at home, so it's you and your family, or you and your family and some friends that you've been sequestering with, and you'll be in your little pod, and there'll be a little bit of room between you and other people. And then when you're out moving about, maybe if you go to the bathroom, you'd have a mask on, that kind of thing. But yeah, we think we'll be able to, because we've got some room, we're outside, we'll be able to let everybody enjoy these great fireworks and keep everybody safe at the same time. I think everybody really needs to do something. It's nice to get out and have a great event like this.
Yeah, we need to still, live and have entertaining things that may not be streaming on our devices at home.
Right.
So I love
Yeah,
it.
it's just not, fireworks in particular don't translate to video that well. They're
No.
still great, but you just
It
lose
doesn't.
something.
Yeah, it's much better in real life,
Right.
as they say, IRL. Well, thank you so much, Rob. This has been a delight. I
thanks, Mish.
love learning, getting kind of that insider view on what all happens with the stuff. Because I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, you don't really know how it's. I love that there's software. I just think
Right.
I mean, I figured there would be. I'm like, of course, there's software.
There is. Yeah.
Go buy your fireworks software. Get going today.
Exactly. Basically, yeah. I mean.
I love it. Well, thank you, sir, so much for your time today. And I wish you great success with Skywars.
Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate it. Nice talking to you.
Everybody out there, you've been listening to MichMash. You can hear us on your favorite podcast platform. Have a good one. We love you. Bye.